Okay, hello. I'm here now, and this time I've got the paper and I've got the sketch all set up. So we'll kick off in a bit. Let me kind of adjust things for you. All right, here we go. I was doing a little bit of sketching before starting here. And I'm not sure if you guys had a chance to see what I said on the last live stream, but I'm using some new fountain pens that I found to be quite cool. They are called the Pilot Kakuno, and they're pretty nifty. I really like them. They are a lot thinner. They have finer nibs than the regular kind of fountain pens that we get here. I guess in Japan they can go a lot thinner, and I'm enjoying them quite a bit. Oh, hello. Cool Tunes is here. Always happy to see you. Thank you for. I think you are the first one here, so well done. Anyway, highly recommend these Kakuno Pilot fountain pens. That's what I've used to draw this guy and draw these guys here today. And they are very good for sketching. So yeah, I'll keep on trying different fountain pens. There's so many out there, and every time I see a new fountain pen, I get tempted and I just buy it. So all right, that's my recommendation for today. Right, I'll put that aside. I'll move the sketchbook out of the way, and I'll show you the page that we're inking today. It's about 2 panels. Panel 1 is kind of a setting scene in the forest, and then panel 2 we have our heroes here in the woods camping, and Bianca is reading a book. So, well, I guess this counts as panel 3, although it's an insert within panel 2, and that's what I'm going to be inking today. So, to kick off, let's work on this top panel. That is a lot of trees and a lot of kind of, well, not same things, but it doesn't require a lot of brain power to kind of ink trees and branches. So I'll kick off with that one, and we'll see how we feel about it. We'll have a little chat. As always, I welcome you to ask any questions that you may have. And yeah, that's kind of it, really. Let me get the pen ready. Thank you, Cool Tunes. I hope you're doing okay, and I hope you're also making progress with your own comic. For those of you who haven't been to my live streams before, Cool Tunes is a fellow comic artist, and he's working on a very, very long comic that is about 150 pages, and he still manages to take time out of his day to be here for my live stream. So I truly appreciate that. All right, let's kick off with this big tree here. Okay. Wow, you're on page 73 right now. Okay, you are ahead of the game. I wish I was on page 73. So well done. Okay, I'm gonna start doing a lot of texture on these trees. I like my trees to look very weird and have a lot of shapes and things. I think when you have a very ugly tree, it kind of adds character to the whole thing. So that's kind of what I'm trying to do with this tree here. And as usual, if you guys feel like the angle I've got on the camera here is not good enough for you to see what I'm doing, just let me know and I can change it for you. Okay. Gonna add a lot of lines here, a lot of texture, a lot of curves to move along the shape of the tree here. Hopefully we don't have any accidents today. In the last live stream, without realizing it, I smudged a lot of the page with my hand. I think I had a bit of ink under my hand and I kept on spreading it all around, and we didn't realize until I turned off the light table. So yeah, It's something that I had to leave it as it was. The page looks dirty, but I managed to clean it digitally. So yeah, there's a solution to everything, but obviously I wasn't too thrilled about seeing that page all smudged with black stuff. Okay, so got branch here, extend it all the way there. And you can see how the margins of the comic just go up to there. So in reality, the reader will never see this, but I can't help myself, and I'll try and finish the continuation of the panel here. Okay, we've got a question from Cooltunes. But will you? All right, let's see. Will you be open for reviewing art? If you stream digitally. Yeah, I'll happily review art, but I'm not sure how you think I should go about it. About why does it have to be streaming digitally? I mean, do you want your art to be reviewed live streamed with other people kind of looking at it while I review it? That is not something I've ever considered. But yeah, if you could kind of explain what exactly you mean by that, I could help you with it. I had a tier in my Patreon where I have one-to-one sessions where I could review people's portfolios, so I could have a look at the work they're doing, and we could discuss stuff. And it's kind of, I guess it's kind of a mentorship tier, but in a less serious way. And I guess that's the closest thing I've had to kind of reviewing people's work. Always felt a bit odd for me to review people's work. I don't know. I guess you never get out of that mentality of just focusing on your own work and trying to make it what you want it to be. And all of a sudden, you have people who genuinely want to hear what you have to say about their work, and it's quite difficult to kind of get your head around that. All right. So you're asking if I go over influences of favorites and favorites of your viewers' work. Go over your influences and favorites, all your viewers. I'll be honest with you. I'm being a bit slow today. I think my brain is my brain is not working. I'm slightly confused about it. I kind of know what you mean, but I think you're saying two things at once. But it could just be me. I went out for a few drinks last night, so my brain is not at its best today. So I apologize for that. Oh, Ben is here. Thanks, Ben. I'm glad you appreciate my deformed looking tree here. Uh, I like these nice little big bulges. It makes the tree looks very weird, and I enjoy that. Okay. Let me squeeze a bit more ink out of this pen, and so it gets a bit more flowy. Fantastic. Once again, I forgot to load this pen up with ink before the live stream. I will never learn. All right, so got tiny little branches here, tiny little branches there. Here we go. Anyway, cool tunes. Yes, I'll happily review people's work if that's something that they want, and if it's something that they want to hear from me. As far as influences and stuff, I'm sure that's something I've discussed here before. Kind of my references and artists that influence my work, and if that's what you meant, then that's my answer. Otherwise, I apologize for not fully understanding what you meant. Okay. Add a little bit of shading here. I like Ben's question about Crossbone Gundam. I'll tell you why they wear capes, because big robots and big mechs with capes look fucking cool. That's why. That's the only reason why they wear them. There is that one episode where Eva 2 in Evangelion wears a cape and it looks so fucking badass, and I think that's enough of a reason to get them to wear capes. And you know, Crossbone Gundam, they have fucking skulls on their chest, and that's all you need to know really. They're all about the aesthetics. And if I ever draw a comic about mechs or some kind of big robots, they're all going to wear hoodies and big capes to cover how badass they are. Okay. Let's work on this branch here. You can see here how I'm not fully following the sketch. I deviate here and there wherever I feel is right to kind of change the line work. That's right. We need those cape makers, gigantic cape makers in business, you know. Uh, and yeah, I'm here for any kind of Gundam that wears a cape. That's my number one priority when it comes to mechs. Okay, I'm gonna take this branch all the way up to the top, even though I know I'm not going to scan that much. Okay. Okay. Those branches here. You can see here, I'm really not following the actual sketch, but it doesn't really matter. I think, especially with trees that look like this, the weirder they look, the better. X, 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 X. Okay. Bit of shade in there. Oh, and I've got these tiny little branches here. I've almost forgot about them. Just like tiny little sticks. There we go. Then we connect all of this frame with this tiny bit of ground that we see here. It's like a little heel going down, and that instantly changes the framing of the whole scene. Sometimes when I draw these frames, I see the actual scene in layers, so foreground, middle ground, and background. So it's almost like those kind of old animations where you know exactly what you need to move, and that really helps build the scene actually. Okay. Okay, got some texture here, and we can move on to the next line of trees that you can actually identify as trees. As you go further, they just look like little blurbs, and so I'm gonna work on the ones that you can actually identify as tree trunks. Right here. Okay. A few more here. Go. So yeah, anyway, happy Friday to all of you. If you, for those of you who have kind of regular full-time jobs, congratulations, you made it to the end of the week, and I hope your week wasn't too difficult, too rough. I hope it was kind of easy, and you made it to Friday today very quickly. And anyone who has a different kind of job, kind of shift work, where you have to work on different days, then I'm sorry. I used to be a bartender, and I remember people getting excited about Friday because it was the last day of the week they worked. But for me, Fridays and Saturdays were the busiest days that I had to work at. And I really dreaded Saturdays and Fridays because they were the busiest. And if you work in a bar, that's when you make most of your tips, and that's when you do most of the work. Um, that being said, bartending was fun. Not always, but it was a nice job to have when I needed money. So yeah. Okay, Ben, 3-day week in the US too. Oh, fantastic! Oh, that sounds great. All right, well done, Ben. Um, good for you, man. Uh, yeah, exactly. Yeah, if you work in the service industry, I don't think you romanticize the weekends as much as other people do. Uh, yeah, it's restaurants, bars, all that kind of stuff. It just it gets pretty mental on Saturdays and Fridays. All right, let's see. Why bartenders hate the Long Island iced tea? I don't drink and hear that it's a killjoy. Long Island iced tea, I think it depends on where you go. But if you go to kind of a bar, like let's say here in the UK, where, we have a lot of pubs here. So if you go to a pub, you're going to get a pint of beer or like a spirit and a drink. You'll get a gin and tonic or, something like that, or like a whiskey and coke. But if the bar is busy and people are getting a bunch of pints, and there is the one guy who wants to get a Long Island iced tea, which, it requires you to kind of start mixing things. And to be fair, Long Island iced tea is not a very complicated drink to make, but it's just the hassle of it, and it just takes you out of the flow of things. Um, and I think that's mostly what it is, really. As a bartender, that's what will really fuck me off. If I'm trying to serve like 10 different pints of beer, and then this one guy just shows up and he wants long ice tea and in the middle of service. But there's nothing wrong about it, I don't think. Betweens, ¿cómo va? Todo muy bien, Betweens. ¿Cómo vas tú? Um, oh yeah, Coulton's can't hear the flashbacks. Yeah, I think if you work in a bar, the best thing to do is to get drunk yourself. I think service is a lot more fun if you're drunk. Uh, and I'm not sure if that's allowed in the US. I know in the UK everyone is fine with it as long as you keep on serving drinks. And a lot of us were drunk halfway through the service, and it was fine. But to be fair, the bar I worked at for years was a kind of a skunky kind of rock bar. So people were there for the live music, and we just pour pints all night long. It wasn't very complicated. All right, cooking. Also enjoy my work. Thank you. What are you cooking? What kind of stuff are you making? I'm always curious about what people cook. I run out of ideas on what to cook. I'm the one cooking here in my house, so I'm always making lunch and dinner, and I kind of run out of ideas sometimes, and I don't want to be that person that repeats the same food every week. So every now and then, I'm quite curious as to see what other people are cooking to see if I can get some inspiration. Okay. All right, Ben allows it. Okay, so you got more tiny trees here. You can see them on the part of very tiny, tiny trees where they don't even look like trees. Let's move on to this corner here. I'll move you guys a little bit here and tilt you that way. All right. Here we go. So, for example, today I think I'll be cooking pork belly. I marinated the pork belly in oyster sauce, soy sauce, some pepper, some garlic, some ginger, and some honey. And I hope I can just chuck it on the air fryer and get some really tasty pork belly. It's the first time I'm making it like that, so wish me luck. But yeah, usually my kind of tryouts of different recipes they usually go quite well, so I'm not too worried about it. Okay. Oh yeah, we got some mountains here. I'll draw that line later. I'll finish the trees and then we'll move on to the into the actual mountains. Okay. Here we go. But yeah, anyway, after I worked at that rock bar in Camden Town, I moved on to a cocktail bar that was really fancy, and it was in an area here in East London that is known for having a lot of hipstery bars back then, and yeah, it was kind of, it wasn't like a speakeasy, but it was one of those bars where it just looks like a warehouse from outside, and it had a fancy restaurant and it had a fancy cocktail bar inside, and we had to wear shirts and black trousers, and we had to be nice to people, and um, yeah, and that's where I learned how to make most of the cocktails that I know how to make because I got actual training there. Whether in the rock bar, I was just pouring pints, and it required no skill whatsoever. Um, yeah, I don't really miss bartending. These kind of jobs, they're fun for a little bit, but they're not very well paid, and they're not very stable, right? Shift work, they give you shifts whenever they feel like it, and it's very hard to make life plans with shift work of that type. um, yeah, but on the other hand, I also worked in agencies when I worked for advertising, so I work for agencies in big offices and stuff, and working Monday to Friday, it has its own difficulties. You get that consistency and you get that stability, but that in itself is detrimental to your health. Just 'cause every week kind of feels the same. You go to the office, you do the same thing, and you kind of know how your month is going to look like. You know how your year is going to look like, and there is some comfort in that, but there is also something scary about it, where your days start to blend into each other and they all look the same. So yeah, I think obviously the grass is greener on the other side every time. So whenever I was doing bar work, I there was a part of me that envy those people who had like office jobs with steady paychecks and steady hours. And when I was working in offices and agencies, I miss the idea of having freedom to just kind of have some random days during the week to enjoy the sun and go outside and do things, and I don't know, like just go on holiday. Okay, so got a branch here. Sorry guys, I realized I've been drawing on this side of the panel and the camera wasn't pointing there. I'll move you back. All right, here we go. We've got more trees sorted here. Okay. Put another tree here. I think I've got a big branch that I need to move. All right. Okay, you guys can see here that this branch, I'm just extending it for no reason, and it's not part of my original sketch, but it's fine. Branches, they don't have to be perfect, so that's okay. There we go. All right, so tell me what plans have you got for your weekend, Ben, Coultons, Betweens? What are you guys up to this weekend? Anything exciting? You guys going somewhere? or are you just staying at home and chilling? What's happening? Fill me in. Tell me. Tell me what's going on. All right, so I'm gonna move this guys here. Three. Ooh, Ben has a good weekend plan. Star Wars Fortnite with your son. That's so cool. Ben, if you don't mind me asking, how old is your son? That is so cool. Uh, new Mandalorian skills. Skins. That is super cool. I bet you're looking forward to that. 9. Oh yeah. Oh my god, that is great. Because at 9, yes, you are a kid, but you remember everything, and you're pretty much like a little human. Like you're aware of everything, and uh, everything becomes a core memory at the age of 9. I think even from the age of 8, everything becomes a core memory. So I'm very excited for you and for your son, and the fact that you guys have that to share, that's super cool. All right, so I don't really know how to pronounce your username. Hopkins? Oh, M Hopkins. It must be a name, right? Okay, M Hopkins. Yeah, so it's your son's birthday, so movie and ice cream with the family. Oh, that sounds so wholesome. What movie are you guys watching? Do you know? Um, that's super cool though. I don't know if you guys know this, but I love going to the cinema. I'll just, even if it's a really shitty film, I'll just happily sit there and eat popcorn, and just the event of going to the cinema gets me excited, gets me happy, and obviously if it's a good film, it's great, but it's just the idea of being there. Oh, the Stitch movie, nice, 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 nice. Okay, that is super cool. That sounds like a good birthday. Sounds very similar to my own birthdays. I don't make much of a fuss when it's my birthday, so I think the one thing I'll always ask about my birthday is to go to the cinema and maybe just have some nice food. And by nice food, I don't mean a fancy restaurant. I just want to get like a nice burger or like some tasty uh, something that I've been meaning to eat from like a fast food restaurant or something like that. Yeah, I guess my birthdays are not very different from from kids' birthdays in many ways. Okay, so look at that. We got chatting and we finished that panel very quickly. I guess when you're just kind of talking away, you don't realize and you finish it. He wants a big production, hey? Oh, Ben, that's so cool that your son is into the lore of the whole thing. That is super cool, man. All right, I'm gonna fill this in with black. You can see the little X's that I put in there, which means that is full black. I'm gonna bring the brush because it's a lot quicker. Although this brush has been acting up today, it's acting a bit dry. Let me squeeze it a little bit. I can't squeeze it too much because it might explode on the paper. Here we go. Ah man, Ben, that is super cool. That is the best. Obviously, I wouldn't know. I'm not a parent, but I think that would be the best age because they're young enough that they want to hang out with you, and they're discovering a lot of cool stuff, and they're old enough that they can enjoy these things properly, and they can like properly geek out on all of it properly. And oh man, that's so exciting. All right, yeah, this brush is not doing it for me today. I'm gonna switch to uh, the isograph. So you guys give me a second. I'm gonna take the isograph out. Yeah, that's really cool. And I think for the rest of his life, he will connect things like Star Wars and stuff like that with you, and it's gonna make him think of you. So that's super cool. All right, guys, I'm using I think it's called an isograph here, and this one releases a lot of ink. So you can see I'm using it here, and it's very easy to control. So it's not as messy as the brush. It looks like a fine liner, but it's not quite like a fine liner. It's a refillable kind of pen with a metallic tip, and the ink just pours out of it. They're pretty useful, especially when you're doing small things that require a lot of accuracy. There we go. Let's fill this one in as well. Yeah, this I was actually thinking, well, I'm going to the cinema tomorrow. We're going to watch the new Wes Anderson film, which, I haven't heard much about it. It might not be great, but, Wes Anderson films is always a joy to just look at them, just because they're pretty. So I'm okay with that. I might end up eating in central London as well, and then on Sunday I'm going to Comic Con. There is a Comic Con here in London, so I'm gonna have a look and see what's up. Maybe look at some of my favorite comic artists there from the UK comic scene, and maybe buy a few comics. They also have a few Gunpla, so I'll probably go to the Gunpla section and look at beautiful Gunplas and fight with my inner self as to whether I should buy more Gunplas or not, because I do buy more and then I never put them together because I don't have the time, because I'm making a gigantic comic of 150 something pages. So maybe I should not buy Gunplas until I finish my book. Okay, so we're gonna move on to panel number 2, and panel number 2 has 3 characters involved. One of them is Amelia, so we're gonna work on Amelia for now. Let me position you properly, guys. There we go. I hope that's a good angle. You guys let me know if that doesn't work for you. All right, I don't want you to see, well, I want you to see it. Last time we had a bit of an accident with my pen, so let's put a bit of paper here. You see, I don't have enough ink for it, so we might have to reload it later, but okay. Okay, seems okay for now. Ooh, Cool Tunes, that's pretty cool. That soundtrack is really, really good, and I really enjoyed the film too. The film was great. I went into the cinema not knowing anything about that film, so I was quite surprised by it, and I really enjoyed it. And it made me think a lot of when I watched From Dusk Till Dawn for the first time. I caught that film on TV when I was like 12, I think, and it blew my mind. I thought it was the coolest film ever. Okay, so we're going with Amelia here. Yeah, and Cool Tunes, I get it. I get why the music will hype you. The music in that film is amazing. I love me some good blues, and obviously they have a lot of different kinds of music throughout the film. Yeah, great film. All right. So. Tiny little, okay, we'll do the ears here. Okay. Let me disconnect my phone because that is not letting me put my hand through it. Okay, now I can do it. I'm actually getting quite used to inking pages with my phone next to me. It was a bit awkward the first few live streams that I did. I'll be honest with you. It felt a bit strange, but now I'm kind of getting quite used to it. All right. I'm more aware of the camera now. I'm more aware of making a space for it. Okay, straight line, guys. So I'm gonna be silent while I do this. Whew. All right, next one. Whew. Okay, all done. Okay, we got a leg that pops up here and another straight line that goes all the way down. Also, I'm waiting for the new film. I think it's called 28 Years Later. I was a fan of the first one, the 28 Days Later film. So I'm actually quite curious as to how the new film is going to be like. Yeah, but I think that one is not out until like June or something like that. So, or even later, actually. Okay, got a bunch of bags here. Sorry, guys. I'm trying to press the paper against the light table so I can actually see the sketch. It's not that I'm trying to cover what I'm doing. It's just that if the paper raises itself a little bit, I can't see what I'm doing. Okay, there we go. All right, let's draw the fire. He's got cool looking armor. Who are we talking about? Ben? Are you talking about Birkin? Or sorry, you lost me for a second. Uh, okay. Oh, Murderbot. Sorry, yes. He does. He does. Okay. That's all right, man. I kind of do the same, but instead of typing, I do it with my words. I just kind of blur things out without thinking too much about the context. It's all good. All right. So we finish Amelia's drawing here. She's holding that spear by the fire, and now we'll move on to Bianca. So I'm gonna bring you closer, and for the little details in the book, because they're so small, I'm gonna use the isograph again. I'm gonna use a very thin isograph to draw those details. But let's draw Bianca first. Oh, sorry. Let me get the phone to focus on the actual part that we're sketching. All right, there we go. Okay. Okay, you tried to draw the human Birkin a while back, and he didn't armor his waist. True, that is very true. Birkin doesn't have any armor below his chest, which I guess I did it that way so you could see his ribs and you can see his skeleton. But I guess if he's a human, it probably looks very, very weird. Okay, got the corner of his book here. I'm not going to draw the little details of the book yet because I'm going to use the isograph to do that. Okay. Oh yeah, chainmail. That's a good solution to it. Although, when you draw chainmail, it means you have to draw a lot of tiny little holes and tiny little links. Uh, so I usually avoid it, even though it looks really cool. Mm, just got a little boot here. Move you guys a little bit here. There we go. All right. So what were the post-drawing stages of Birkin of your first work like? How do you work with the publisher and promote your works? I'm working on an RPG book and will need to enter that stage soon. Well, I'll be honest with you. Dark Horse, they don't really do a lot of kind of promo stuff for your books. I think a lot of it was the stuff that I do online. Basically, Birdking, before it became a book, it had a following just due to the fact that I used to draw him a lot, and people will see him as a character, a standalone character. So when I announced that he was going to be a comic, a lot of people were aware of it, and also Birdking started as a comic that I created on Patreon, so it already had a small following. So we didn't do a lot of marketing or anything like that to promote Birdking. It was just very organic, very natural with followers of the character. Uh, and yeah, unfortunately, Dark Horse uh, they don't behave like other publishers were in different countries. I guess this is very common in the US with comic publishers where they will publish a book, but it's up to you to tell people about it. Every now and then they'll if the book is doing well, they'll get an interviewer like a blog guy to kind of interview you about it, or they get a little article about it out there. But that's kind of it, really. Um, but yeah, your RPG book, from my own experience, all I can say is try and show it online as much as you can. Try and use the power of social media, which is what we have these days. We can't rely on old media, and I think if you show what you're doing to people, people will be interested. And you can't expect people these days to buy something they don't know what it is. People are quite used to seeing what they buy beforehand these days. So yeah, all right, let's draw the details of the book here. But betweens, if you got any links, anything associated with your book right now, feel free to post the link on the chat, so Cool Tunes and others who are interested can actually see it. I do have another bookmaker in in my chat. I feel like my work attracts a lot of creatives and people who are artists themselves, and that makes me feel really good. Do follow you for a few years now. I did so breaking those stages. Do work. Yeah, Between, you're right. It's a lot of kind of that groundwork that you do yourself by just kind of posting the stuff online. I owe a lot of my career to social media just because that's the place that gave me the opportunity to kind of just show my work to people who were interested, and that's how I found my audience. I think if I had decided to just wait for the publishers to kind of do something about it, I'll still be here waiting for people to know about my books. Okay, gonna fill this in with black. So this isograph that I'm using is really thin. It says 3.0. No, so it's 0.3. It's very, very thin. Okay. Oh, that's all right, man. So whenever you're ready, if you join the live stream, just remind me, and we'll do it again, and we'll make sure that people get to check out your link and your work, because I find it quite interesting that a lot of people who follow my work, they are creatives, and they're making their own things, and that makes me really happy. Okay. Okay, I think that's pretty much it for the book. I fill this in with black. And this one here. And of course, we'll fill in the wraith symbol with black. Alex is here. Okay, you're here to tell me that I've got you addicted to ink pen. That is really good. Sketching. And now it's a problem, and your friends and loved ones are worried about you. Alex, that's great news. That means you're hooked, and it means you can't wait for the next chance you have to kind of keep on sketching with your inking pen. So I am so glad to hear that. I've truly influenced you into sketching more. Practice and practice. So the fact that you will draw more purely because you're trying a different medium, that can't be a bad thing. So yeah, congratulations, and good to see you here. Okay, so we're gonna move on to inking Birdking and his gigantic sword. So let me see this here. It really is, Coultons. Thank you. It is so exciting that so many of you have your own projects. You're also sketching, and you're trying out new mediums, and uh, I find it fascinating. I feel like creatives should stick together and encourage each other, because what's the point of life without art and things that makes us feel alive like that. So all right, don't want to get too cheesy about it, but you heard me. All right, so we're gonna work on Birkin fingers here. All right, trying to see it. There we go. Broken sword. I'll break in the line a little bit here. There we go. Some texture. And now we're gonna draw the chain here. I need to press the paper against the light table to be able to see it. Okay, I got it now. Okay. Move on to the handle of the sword. All right, so Alex says he's trying to figure out how to add more black and texture to your sketches, even though they tend to just stay scratchy and empty, like your mind only thinks of lines for pen work. Uh, I think that's very normal, Alex. I think if you're sketching, you don't think too much about filling in with black because you're just thinking of ideas and lines. And when it comes to filling in with black, it's more of a finishing thing. So I think if you separate both parts of the process, you'll find that a lot easier to do. So what I would suggest is when you're sketching, just do the line work and just leave it like that. And then later come back to it and fill in the black bits when you have refreshed your eyes from the piece of work that you were kind of working on. And you'll find yourself filling in bits of the sketch with texture and kind of black sections that you didn't think of before. So yeah, I wouldn't worry too much about it. I think it's a matter of habit and also kind of having a fresh eye to look at the drawing that you just done. Okay, let me finish this chain here. Okay, we got some tiny birds in here, so I'm gonna try and ink them. Tiny bird there. Okay, tiny bird here. There we go. And tiny bird on top. There we go. Okay. As this pen keeps on moving. All right. Gonna move on to a different section of Birdking here. Okay, let's start with his face. Okay, I'm gonna guys put it right on top. Okay, for you want your salmon sage tea. Can I make it get to Bolivia? I mean, I will send it out to Bolivia, betweens. But whether it gets there or not, it's hard to say. In my experience, getting stuff to South America, it takes quite a few months to arrive, and a lot of the countries there don't have a truck delivery service. So it is a bit of a gamble, but I've sent a lot of stuff to Chile and Colombia and Ecuador before, so I don't see why it would be any different. Um, but yeah, it's just a matter of you wanting to take that chance, and also for you to be patient because it will certainly take a month at a bit, if that. Okay. Okay. All right. Yeah. Yeah. I don't get many orders to Bolivia, so if I see an order to Bolivia, I'm going to assume it's you, and I'll do my best to keep you updated as to how it goes. and yeah, I'm sure it'll be okay. Okay. Have you ever ordered stuff from outside of Bolivia? Between. Okay. Okay. Let's work on the little jewel here. We'll do that. Okay, here we go. All right, Alex. Oh, wait. So the twins, yes, AliExpress and Amazon, they arrive with no problem, but like I say, it takes a few weeks. Okay, that's pretty good. So that's a good sign. So it shouldn't be any different. Um, Turn again after a big section for art block a few years. Been giving me a good excuse. Alex, I'm so happy to hear that. Art block is a real problem, and sometimes the only way to get over it is to change your medium and change what you're using and kind of get excited about your own work. And that's kind of what's happening to you right now. So I'm happy for you. And hopefully, this will be a new phase in your work where, a new renaissance for you where you start drawing a lot again. Okay. All right. Let's go here. Nice. Go a few lines. Okay. There we go. That's the chest done. Okay, let's connect that chest to that sword. Oh, guys, I disconnected the light table. Just give me a second. All right, back on it. So, betweens, could we say Instagram is the main social media? At least that's how you found me. Social media, it changes uh, as the years go by. So there's never like one social media that kind of works. My advice is to give all social medias a shot if your purpose is to get your work and your name out there. Um, Instagram is not what it used to be. It was a lot easier to get noticed on Instagram a few years ago. Uh, Obviously, it still works. You still need it, but if I was you, I would go straight into TikTok. That's my thing. You know, if you go into TikTok, I think there's more chance of new people finding out your work. But they're not exclusive of each other. So if you can do all of them, just do all of them. I'm guessing you want as many people to see your work as possible. So, all right. Cool tunes. You just finished your page for today. Okay. How do I feel about chipping away a book? I feel different depending on how I'm doing in terms of deadlines and stuff. Uh, as the deadline gets closer, I stop thinking too much about it and I just get concerned with finishing the book. and it's good to have pressure because it adds something else to the book, but also I want to enjoy the process of it. And it's always hard to kind of strike that balance between enjoying the process of finishing the book, but also trying to make it in time for publication and for deadlines, etc. So yeah, it's definitely a mix of feelings when I'm trying to finish a book. Obviously, there's a part of me that would love to have all the time in the world to kind of enjoy every single page and redraw stuff if I don't like it, and kind of just take my time with it. But the reality of it is that you can fall into self-indulgence with that. Also, it's not viable. People will not wait for a book forever. I mean, they might, but it's not conducive for narrative. So there has to be a balance to it. But that being said, let's say in the case of Birdking, when I look back and I've already finished 3 volumes of it, and I'm working on volume 4 now. It's a great achievement to kind of have a book that you can hold in your hand, and I don't think that feeling is something to sniff at. It's a wonderful feeling to kind of look back at what you've done and see it all put together in a printed book. And you look at yourself and you think, wow, I did that. And it was a lot of work. And it reminds me of whatever I was going through at the time. But it's all here, and people are enjoying it. And that's a wonderful feeling. So that kind of makes it all worth it. Okay, Alex, you say, yeah, TikTok has been pretty decent in growing an audience. Yep, Alex. Alex is absolutely right. If you want to grow an audience, TikTok is the one to go to. I'm not saying don't do Instagram, but Instagram is quite stagnant when it comes to getting people to see your work. Obviously it wasn't always like that, but that's how I feel it is these days. Okay, Ben, your wife has recently launched a TikTok thing, and she says the same thing. Yep, Ben knows it too. That's the way to go. So you heard it here. Okay, and Jack. Oh, hello, Jack. So you've always been interested in using a fountain pen in your work, but Instagram posts have been nudging you more. Great. Closer to actually buying one for you. How is the experience different from a normal pen? Jack, so for years I sketched with a biro, I guess what you guys call a pen, and it was my comfort tool to kind of sketch aimlessly, kind of brainless doodles and stuff. And it was fun, but fountain pens, they give you a certain freedom that when the ink is flowing and things are working, it gives you a certain kind of looseness to the line that makes it a lot more fun to sketch with it. And if you see in my videos, you can see that the lines sometimes they just flow, and obviously that depends on the pen you use and how much you get used to it. But also, another thing about fountain pens is even if you're doing a stupid little sketch, because it's black ink, everything looks kind of finished. Everything looks a bit more, uh, kind of a higher level. Even if it's a silly little sketch, it looks like you made a real effort with it. So I'm kind of enjoying that. So yeah, definitely give it a try. There's definitely a wide variety of fountain pens out there that you can try and see what works for you. And like same thing as with Alex, it may bring you into a new era of wanting to draw more purely because you change your tools. Yeah, Coultons. Believe me, once you're holding that book in your hands, it's going to feel great. It's a great feeling, regardless of whatever happens to the book. Just the idea that you actually achieve that you finish an entire thing, because finishing books and finishing things is not very easy. It's a great achievement in itself. Okay. Alex says, as a new convert to pens, you can say they're really great. Yep, listen to Alex. He knows what I'm talking about. He's addicted to his fountain pen now. Betweens, well, gotta go eat lunch. All right, Betweens, enjoy your lunch. We'll see you in the next live stream. All right. Okay, Ben says, so true, you wrote a novella. Oh, cool. Last year, when I got the printed copies, it was like the best day of life. Yeah, Ben gets it. It's just the physicality of it, just holding it in your hands. It is like you're holding time and effort and sweat and tears in your hands in physical form, and it's hard to explain, but that's what it is. Guys, I think my pen has completely run out of ink, so we're gonna do a little reload of the pen. Wish me luck. It can either be messy or it can just be very easy, so we'll see. All right. Wish me luck. Okay. I need light for this. All right, so I'm gonna bring in, how much ink have I got left in here? All right, let's see. It's kind of stupid to do it on top of the page. I'll admit that, but I don't want to move the camera too much, so I'm gonna put this like a little bit here. Oh, okay, let's hold on to that. Yeah, this is not. I don't advise this, guys. Never do it on top of a page that you're working on. Okay, move this here out of the way. And this. Okay. Okay. Yeah, it's kind of empty. All right, here we go. Okay, that seems actually to work. All right, let's clean it up. Ben is getting really nervous. He just wants me to do it off camera. Ben, you're absolutely right. But you know, if I do it off camera, it'll just be you guys staring at the page while I'm doing all of this. And I do enjoy the nervousness that everyone goes through as I do this. I'm nervous too, but you know, it is it is just happening now. Look, it's all done. It's all filled in. Let's put the cap on this guy so I don't spill it accidentally. Put it out of the way. Now we connect this guy here. Thank you everyone for your concern. I think we're doing okay. Cool Tunes, is it hard to draw in front of the camera? Yes, it is difficult to get used to it at first because you're very aware of it, and also the camera kind of gets in the way. I think we're getting there, but once you get used to it, it's fine. Okay, I think that's it. I love how Ben was just like, "Look, man, stop messing about. Just do it off camera. There's no need for this foolishness." All right, I think we're good, guys. Okay. We made it. Well done, us. There you go. It wasn't as bad, was it? Okay. There you go. Perfect. That was pretty smooth, actually. I've got to admit. But if you guys have been here in my previous live streams, you know that is not always the case, and things do go wrong quite a bit. All right, so. There we go. Add some texture to it, some shadows here. And I think that's Birdking done. Well done, us. Okay, now I need to bring in the big pen and do this frame here. Okay. All right, guys, I'll give you some distance so you can see what I'm doing. There we go. Okay. Here we go. All right. Any comics or mangas that I follow? Oh, I'm waiting for. I don't know about comics. I I was told that it actually came out. I was watching Delicious in Dungeon. I know it's a manga, but I haven't read it. I've just been watching the anime, and I've only watched season one, and I was waiting for season two. And I think someone told me season two is out already, but I haven't seen it yet. So 'cause I was watching it on Netflix. So yeah, I'm waiting for that. That'll be super cool and super exciting to watch. Um, as far as comics go, I'm going to a Comic Con on Sunday, so we'll see what I find there. Usually, I just pick anything that kind of catches my eye and that I find interesting, and I'll just give it a shot. So we'll see. We'll see what I find on Sunday if there's anything that I find exciting. Okay, do this. All right, that's pretty good. And since we have this, we should do a bunch of trees. You can see all the trees in the background here. So let's go ahead and do those guys. Okay. Yeah, I see it now. I'll move you guys a little bit further so you can see what I'm doing. All right. Just one tree out of the way, and we'll start with another one here. Okay. That's another one out. Layers is your favorite. Tell me about layers. I don't think I've heard of it. Oh, layers. Sorry, I know what you're talking about now. I'm so sorry. My brain was somewhere else. Yeah, man. That show has some really cool characters. And I feel like it's really well written, and I truly enjoy it. And the mood and kind of the humor in it is kind of my vibe. So yeah, I can't wait for season two. But yeah, I swear someone told me it's already out, and I've just been waiting for something that is already out. But yeah, okay, draw this here. Done. Okay, more trees. Oh, this is Birdking sword, so let's give some texture to that. Okay, and some shadow beneath the handle. There we go. Okay. Oh, oh my god, I can't fucking believe it. Guys, we Oh no, this one has ink, so don't worry about it. And Ben, just so you know, I'm doing it off camera. I'm not changing the ink, I'm checking that it has ink. Okay. All right, we're back in business. Whew, it's a lot of ink to get out. Oh, Ben, thank you. So season 2 is not out yet. All right. So I probably imagined that someone told me that I was missing out and it was out already. Yeah. So I'm waiting for it. Yeah, we'll see how when it comes out. Okay. I'll move you guys here so you can see it. There we go. Okay, another tree here. Done. And I think I'm missing one tree on the left side of the panel, so I'm gonna do that. Yeah, right here. Done. Okay, now we can focus on this panel here and a few bits I forgot at the bottom of that image. Okay, time to change my pen. Look at my bloody fingers. This is what actually happened last time. I didn't realize I had fingers like this and I smudged ink all over the page. So, all right. Here we go. Let's see. Okay. Oh, hey, big blue Luke. Hey, man, how are you? Howdy to you. Thank you for joining us. We've been, I mean, as you can see, we've kind of pretty much done with the page, but yeah, thank you for making it. All right, so shaky hair here. Okay. Go. Late to the party, mate. That's all right. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Yeah, it's been pretty chill today. We've been chatting a lot about different, like a wide range of things here today. Um, but yeah, no accidents today. Last live stream, I smudged a lot of ink on my page, and it wasn't great. So today I've actually got Ben looking out for me, making sure that I load my pens off camera so I don't make a mess. All right. Got a bit of particles here flying around. Yep. Now we're gonna do the back. Okay. Okay. We'll fill that in with black later. Same here. I think I want to use a bigger, a thicker nib for that. Yeah, cool tunes. I would love to publish a black and white version of Birdking, possibly like a manga size. That'd be super cool. But I don't think publishers find that idea very exciting. Probably, I think if Birkin becomes stupidly popular in like 10 years and it sells a stupid amount of copies, then publishers will be open to kind of print all kinds of formats from it. And the moment that happens, I'll push for a black and white version of Birkin, the noir version of Birkin. And I'll be very happy about that. Okay, let's do the little line that I drew here. Whoop. Okay. Right. I think that's it. After Birkin the movie, yes, of course. That will be great. That will be fantastic. All right, you guys. That is pretty much it. I'm going to draw the lines of the frames. You guys are welcome to stay and watch me do that. Is probably the least exciting bit of the process, but it needs to be done. So you're welcome to watch me do that. All right, let's see. Have I got the right pen for this? Yeah, should do. All right, you guys, wish me luck. Okay, that's one line done. Okay. Yeah, Coulton, sorry, I hadn't read your comment. Yeah, the compiled edition of Birdking, from what I've heard, is going to be firstly, they're going to publish paperback, so everyone has access to it. But then the deluxe edition that Dark Horse wants to do will be a leather bound volume, like very much like the ones they've done for Berserk or for Trigun or even for Hellboy. And I think Daniel and I, we've been talking about the idea of making the deluxe edition into like one of the books that Bianca reads in the actual book. So it's going to look like a book from the world of Birkin. That's kind of what we want to do, but we'll see how that happens once we publish everything. You called it. You did call it. Yes, you're absolutely right. Absolutely right. All right, so we're gonna move this here. Okay. But it's gonna be a few years before that happens because we have to publish volume 4, and that should be coming out next year. And then I guess I have to give it some time to sell, and then we'll move on to the compiled editions. All right. What's happening here? Sorry, guys. All right. There we go. Ooh. That didn't work too well. I can clean that digitally, but that wasn't the best line I could have done. All right. Just gotta clean it. All right. There we go. Move on to the last line. Here we go. And voila. There you have it, guys. I'm gonna switch off the light table so you can actually see what I've done and move a bit of this lighting because it's a bit too much. And let me see. There you go. Oh, actually, you don't need this light. That's the page for today. Thank you so much for joining me here today. I really hope you enjoy the chat and you enjoy the work. Look at that. That's a whole page. We've done that together from beginning to end, and it feels very good. Oh, got this light here. All right. Anyway, I hope you guys have a lovely weekend. Thank you so much. Let me know in the comments if you enjoyed me doing this a lot later than usual, or if you like the original time that I do my live streams, which is usually kind of half an hour earlier than today. And guys, have a lovely weekend. I know a lot of you are creatives and you're doing your own thing. Keep on doing it. We need people like us making art and making books and making cool shit out there for people to enjoy and make life a little bit sweeter. All right, you guys, take care and thank you for joining me. Bye.